Hello everyone. Today we're going to be checking out two new lubes from TheCubicle, Max Command and Max Fleet. Let's check it out. Alright, so in this package here we have a little paper that'll be an explanation of the two lubes. So it says TheCubicle is proud to announce two new lubes in our premium lineup, Max Fleet and Max Command. These lubes are used and endorsed by speedcuber Max Park and are sure to provide a feeling like no other lubes in the current market. Max Fleet is a non-Newtonian piece lube with a very high molecular weight, resulting in a material with strikingly unique shear properties. Max Fleet is extremely quick, but with little to no drag. Note, please exercise caution when dispensing Max Fleet as it can release in a big stream if dispensed too aggressively. Max Command is a silicone-based core lube that creates smooth lubricity between metal to non-metal surfaces. To use, dispense with the green tip on springs and screws. Max Command also works great on edge and corner tracks to provide control. So I'm just taking a look at these two lubes here. This Max Command is like glitter. It looks so sparkly, it really looks cool. On the other hand, the Max Fleet is like a type of dark gray, gritty material looking. So in my last video, I already checked out the GAN X and XS that were set up by TheCubicle with these two new Max lubes. But today I'm going to check out some different types of puzzles. I'm going to do one more 3x3, being the Valk Elite, and then I'm also going to check out the Moyu Aosu WRM 4x4 and the X-Span Galaxy V2M Megaminx. So I'm going to get started with the Valk Elite M. Right now this cube has no lube in it whatsoever. So the Valk Elite uses these spring compression things like they have in a GAN cube. So I'm not exactly sure where to put the lube, but I'm going to go ahead and put it on the base of the screw because it'll touch to the top of this plastic piece here. And then I'll also put a bit on the bottom of the plastic piece because that will come into contact with the base of this centerpiece right here. So I only want to start out with a really small amount because I'm not sure how much I'm going to need to put on there. That was probably even a bit much, but we'll work that in. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back over here, flip it over, and put a little bit on the other side here. And now that I've put lube on both sides of this piece, I'll go ahead and drop it back into the core here and screw it in. So now that I've replaced this screw, I'm going to go ahead and lube all the other faces of the cube with Max Command. Alright, so I've finished putting in the command into all of the springs and screws, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a few turns to see how it's feeling. I feel like having the center caps out is not the ideal way to test this cube since there are magnets in the center caps. I think it might have sped up a tiny bit, but it's very smooth and the turning is very even, I think. It's kind of hard to see in this lighting, but I've gotten all of these little glitter flecks kind of all over my cube, so now it's just really sparkly. So now that we've seen the effect of the command lube on the core, let's go ahead and check out what the Fleet will do to the pieces. Alright, so I popped out an edge piece and I'm going to go ahead and put some of the Fleet lube onto the contact points in the edge, and hopefully I won't over pour this lube because they warned us that it comes out very fast. Whoa, 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 yikes, they were right. Dang, okay. I'm gonna try to maybe just spread this around. What the heck? This is such a weird texture. It just kind of like flops around on the piece. It's like a blob, you can just kind of like drag it around. That is so strange. Man, Cubicle's doing some crazy stuff nowadays. This is wild. I keep spraying out too much, but maybe I can spread this around. I don't know. The whole thing is just moving as one big glob. I guess I'll just leave it there and see what happens. I don't really know how much is a good amount to put on, so I'm just going to put a tiny bit on one side of this corner, if I can get it to stick, and maybe a bit on the foot here. Dang, that's rough. It comes out so fast. You can't even spread it because it doesn't even stick to the pieces. I guess that's how they achieved the speed without drag thing. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and put these pieces back into the puzzle, and let's go ahead and test out the turning. That's kind of crazy. It certainly got a lot faster, but I actually think I might end up putting a bit more lube in here. Okay, I just put a tiny bit more of the Fleet onto the pieces, and I'm breaking it in now. Yeah, well, it's getting pretty fast, but since this cube has so many magnets in it, it's actually still fairly controllable. It feels nice, but it's definitely going to take some getting used to. The speed is pretty fast, but at the same time there is very little drag. The smoothness feels about the same. It doesn't seem to have changed like how soft it feels. So if you like a very fast, speedy feeling in your cube, this Max Lube combo might be the way to go for you. But that said, I am curious about trying it in other types of puzzles, so I'm gonna go ahead and check out the 4x4. Pro tip guys, when you're lubing the core of a 4x4, you don't really need to take much of it apart to get to the screw. You can just take these pairs of edges out and slide these centerpieces to the side and unscrew the screw, lube it, and then put the screw straight back in, so you don't actually need to take a lot of the puzzle apart. Alright, so I just finished putting both of the lubes in the core and on the pieces, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do some turns to break it all in together. The outer layer turning is like super smooth right now. This is actually ridiculous. The middle layers are still a bit tight. Actually, let me put a bit more fleet in the middle layer. Wow, that actually made a big difference. Huh. So this 4x4 is like really fast now, but it is also worth it to note that in the Max cubes that TheCubicle set up, they did add a bit of gravitas to their cubes. So if you wanted to add a little extra lube to slow it down, if it got a bit too fast for you, maybe gravitas would be the way to go. Alright, so last up I'm testing this Megaminx. I just dumped a fair amount of lube into this one. This was a very slow cube to begin with, and ooh, jeez. That really sped up, and I only put the fleet, at least on the pieces, onto one of the sides of the cube. So just by lubing like one side of the cube and spreading it around, a little goes a long way. Alright, so that's gonna wrap it up for my overview of the new Max Command and Max Fleet lubes from TheCubicle. Once again, Max Command is a silicone-based core lube, great for making everything smooth, and Max Fleet is some wacky substance, but it makes your cube really, really fast, but with very little drag at the same time. Combined, they make a really smooth, lightweight, fast cube. And if you like that feeling, go for it. If you do like thicker lubes that slow your cube down, this is probably not the lube combo for you. But if you want a taste of, you know, the types of things Max Park likes to use in his cubes to make them faster, this is the way to go. So I'd like to give a huge thank you to TheCubicle for sending me these two new Max lubes to test out. Each of these individual lubes is $9, but if you want to buy them as a bundle, you can save about $3 and get both of them for about $15. If you'd like to buy these lubes, I'll leave a link down in the description below to where you can buy them from TheCubicle. So that's about all I have for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Hey, they stayed up.